is the Director General of Jammu and Kashmir, the man responsible for the safety and security of the entire state, and also the man responsible for the safety of his own men. SP Wed is joining us live on the newsroom tonight. But before I go across to the Director General of Police, I want to play out a detailed account filed by my colleague Sujaul Haq Thakur, which breaks down on a moment-by-moment basis the shocking story of how a Kashmir boy who'd gone to pray in a mosque was lynched by a mob, even though he was supposed to be protecting Mirwaiz Umar Farooq. Mirwaiz Umar Farooq came to the same area. A death had happened. A body was lying unclaimed. But instead of stopping, finding out, trying to help, Mirwaiz continued his sermon about peace. Sit back and watch this day's most horrific story.
This is how a policeman met his end in Srinagar yesterday night. At the hands of a bloodthirsty mob. The man pushed, thrown around, clothes torn off, beaten, his jaw broken. Take a long, hard look at this man's face. Yesterday, he was a living, breathing person. Deputy Superintendent of Police, Muhammad Ayub Pandith. Set upon by a mob chanting the name of and glorifying a terrorist. On Thursday evening at 9, Pandith left his house for this bustling place, the Jammu Masjid. His job was to ensure access control. Basically to check everyone who goes in and out on the busy day. At around 10:30 p.m., he exited the mosque after offering prayers. It is then that a commotion started. He was accosted by a group of people who questioned him. Soon, a mob gathered. Things spun out of control. His guards fled in terror. And then, at 10:45 p.m., the macabre dance of death began. By 11 p.m., the deed had been done. The officer, so mutilated, we can't even show you what condition the savages left him in. Such was his condition that till midnight, his fellow officers couldn't even identify him. Minutes later, Mirwaiz Umar Farooq claims he reached the mosque and conducted ceremonial prayers. He prayed just meters away from where a man had been murdered, unaffected, not a word uttered about a human being who had just been butchered. And just like that, thousands of people moved on after the murder, forgetting what had just happened. As Muhammad Ayub Pandith's body lay, unidentified and unclaimed till 6 a.m. on Friday. Bureau Report, India Today.
Who are those who fueled the mob that lynched Muhammad Ayub Pandith? What action will be taken? Does Mirwaiz Umar Farooq deserve to be protected by those about whom he cares so little, carrying on with his sermon even though there was a man lying dead outside the mosque? I want to go across to the Director General of the Jammu and Kashmir Police, SP Waid, is joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Waid, I begin with thoughts and prayers for the family of Muhammad Pandith. Everyone in the Jammu and Kashmir Police across the country, people are shocked, saddened by what's happened to Mr. Pandith. And first and foremost, our deepest condolences to you and to the family.
Yeah, same here. Our condolences with the family, bereaved family. Everybody in J&K police family feels bad about it.
Mr. Waid, who are the people who fueled the mob that lynched a brave Kashmir policeman? Have they been identified? How soon before they're put behind bars?
You will see the result very soon. We have registered a case. We have identified 12 people so far. Everybody who's behind this barbaric act shall be punished and brought to book. They will have to face the law. Two of them have been arrested. The remaining are being they would be very soon brought to justice.
Now, yeah. Mr. Waid, there are two different theories that are doing the rounds. The first, where people say that Mirwaiz was in the mosque when the mob lynched this DSP outside. Mirwaiz in his own statement says that he came after. But what I find particularly disconcerting is, despite word having spread that a man had been killed, Mirwaiz Umar Farooq did not even stop, did not come and find out what was happening, did not try and help this person. Could have been anyone. At that time, maybe they didn't know it was a cop. But he didn't bother to even help. He carried on with his sermon. What are you making of Mirwaiz's actions?
Whether he was a cop or not,
absolutely,
a human being has been murdered. Any human being should have stopped and looked for whatever assistance he or she can provide. I think it is for him to reply, but our initial reports indicate that he came afterwards. He was not inside the mosque. It's a matter of investigation. It's taking place, and the investigation would be brought to conclusion very soon.
Mr. Director General of Police, the fact is, even if it is true that Mirwaiz Farooq came later, the very fact that a man had died should have made him call off whatever he was doing. Look at those pictures. They're on your screen right now. Here he is, waving frantically, putting out his message. He's supposed to be the guardian angel of the people of Kashmir, and the man is continuing with his sermon when there's a son of Kashmir lying dead on the ground. He didn't even stop this sermon.
I absolutely agree with you. As I said, any human being would have extended whatever help one could provide to a person who has been injured and lying within a pool of blood on the roadside.
Investigate, sir, whether Mirwaiz Umar Farooq should be booked as well, because help could have been given. You know, you don't know what the condition of Ayub Pandith was. Maybe he could have been saved. All those specifics would have been known if Mirwaiz made some effort to try and help him. A man lying dead on the ground, Mirwaiz carries on with his sermon as if nothing had happened. Can he be booked? Can charges be pressed against him, sir?
It's a matter of investigation. We will see that whoever is involved shall be punished, and whoever, whatever, how high mighty one may be, he or she will have to face the law. The investigation would be completed expeditiously, and action would be taken against those who are responsible.
Okay, what are your preliminary reports indicating to you? What seems to have happened? Because, you know, if you look at some of the accounts emerging from Kashmir, it is suggested that people somehow saw that he had a weapon inside a mosque, and that's how they got agitated. I've been looking at some int reports coming into the army and the Ministry of Home Affairs. They're saying that this was premeditated murder. They knew that this DSP would be there. They wanted to specifically target him. What are your initial reports indicating to you, sir?
It's too early to say conclusively, but we are investigating, and very soon it will be clear. But this is not true that he was with a weapon inside the mosque. The incident happened outside the mosque, and I don't think this version is correct.
So
these are my initial reports.
You are saying that anyone who says that he went in with a weapon inside the mosque and that's what seems to have agitated this crowd is not correct. That is not true. Mr. Director General of Police, that's what you're telling our viewers, that that story is fabricated?
Yeah, absolutely.
And is it correct that there were 2 guards with him and those guards went away when the crowd started heckling, hassling, intimidating this brave DSP, that the 2 guards who were with him went away at that time, they ran away? Is that correct?
No, my initial reports indicate that he had, this being a very auspicious day of prayers, he had allowed his PSO, his personal security officer, to go home. I think he was not with him. But this is again, as I said, all these are matters of investigation, and everything will come very clear very soon.
So 11 policemen have been killed in Jammu and Kashmir this month itself. 17 policemen killed in the first 6 months of this year. This is the highest in the last 2 decades. Last year, 13 policemen were killed. Why is the police suddenly so vulnerable? What are you doing to protect your boys, sir?
J&K police has been braving this terrorism menace for last 27, 28 years, and we have gone through these difficult times earlier also. We shall face this and very soon bring normalcy in Kashmir, which is desperately needed. And whatever is required for protection of my men, we shall take action. Already many measures are being taken, and both Government of India and Government of J&K are providing all possible assistance to protect our men.
Sir, in the statement that's been put out, I'm very disturbed by Mirwaiz's statement because he seems to virtually be justifying the mob lynching. He says, mob lynching, just give me a moment. He says that we repeatedly asked the Indian state to address the Kashmir dispute, initiate steps to resolve it so that bloodshed of Kashmiris is stopped. If you read his statement, it almost makes it seem as if the Indian state or the police force virtually brought this upon themselves. Here it is. Violence that the state has wreaked on us is largely responsible for this kind of brutalization, as the police is being used against the people in the most brutal ways, which leads to brutal reactions. How do you respond to Mirwaiz Umar Farooq seeming to justify in some senses what happened to Pandith, where he's saying that it's the police that brought about this brutal reaction?
I don't agree with him, and I want all people of Kashmir to introspect whether they want to go towards this savagery, this kind of behavior where a human being doesn't recognize the other human being. It is for people of Jammu and Kashmir to introspect. I don't agree with him.
Sir, this is a question that's being asked very often, and so you will permit me to ask this. Why should the Jammu and Kashmir police be protecting people like Syed Ali Shah Gilani, people like Mirwaiz Umar Farooq? They very clearly care little for the Indian state. They care very little for the safety of your boys. Why should we be spending crores of rupees, and leave aside the money? Why should we be risking the lives of our boys to protect these people who care so little about us?
I agree. I think time has come to take a call, and I think government will take a collective decision very soon.
That's an important point you're making, Mr. Waid. That's a very, very important point you're making. You're saying, as the man responsible for the safety and welfare of the Jammu and Kashmir police family, you believe that the time has come for a decision to be taken on whether the Jammu Kashmir police should continue protecting these people who want to give sermons when there's a policeman lying dead who so little care for our men. You're saying the time has come to review whether they should be protected at all?
Absolutely.
Because if they are so safe in the mob, and if, if the terrorists are only against the Indian state, then let the mob take care of the likes of Mirwaiz Umar Farooq.
That's right.
Finally, sir, what's your message to your boys tomorrow? Because, I've got so many people we know so closely in the Jammu and Kashmir police and police forces across. They're very disturbed by what's happening. What's your message? How will you give them the confidence that they should go back, do their job, and this is something that you will come down hard on, Mr. Waid?
Keep the morale high. We shall hunt them down and very soon bring peace to this valley of Kashmir.
Mr. Waid, I can see anguish writ large over your eyes, and I can imagine how difficult today would have been for you. We've been so angry and so upset with what's happened with Muhammad Ayub. And as the father of the family, I can just imagine what you would have gone through. I deeply appreciate you giving us time. You've sent out a very, very strong message. This is big breaking news. The Director General of Police, Jammu and Kashmir, SP Waid, live on India Today, saying the time has come to review the security of the Hurriyat. He believes the Jammu and Kashmir police should no longer be protecting people like Mirwaiz Farooq and Syed Shah Gilani. Thank you very much, Mr. Waid, for joining us on what has been such a tough day for you and for your force. Thank you, sir. Let's shift our attention now to the politics of this lynching, because you've got on the one side Mirwaiz virtually justifying that it's police action that brought about this brutality. You've also seen other leaders, they seem to be sympathetic much more towards the terrorists. Their sympathies seem to lie much more with Hafiz Saeed, Syed Salahuddin, than with Kashmir's own children who are protecting them. Mirwaiz Umar Farooq, Muhammad Ayub, Pandith was protecting you, and if this is what you think of someone who was protecting you, then you don't deserve his protection.
A patriot policeman laid to rest with full honours in the presence of Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti.
जो लोगों की हिफाजत के लिए अपना फर्ज अंजाम दे रहा है, उसको इस तरह से मारपीट करके उसको मार देना, इससे बड़ा शर्मनाक वाक़या कोई हो नहीं सकता है। पर जिस वक्त जिस दिन इनके सब्र का पैमाना लबरेज होगा तो मैं समझती हूँ बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगी।
But is condoling his death enough? What about the perpetrators of this heinous crime? Why the silence? Mirwaiz Umar Farooq, the Hurriyat leader, who gave sermons at a mosque barely half an hour after the murder, didn't have a single word for the slain officer. He waited 12 hours to issue a statement Friday morning, which was more trickery with words than a straight condemnation. The separatist said the murder was a brutal reaction to the brutality inflicted on people by the police. The NC came out with the strongest condemnation, hitting out at the Mirwaiz. National Conference's Junaid Mattu called for the stripping off of the Z security given to Mirwaiz.
बहुत ही अफसोसनाक ट्रैजिक इंसिडेंट है, शर्मनाक इंसिडेंट है। इससे बुरा क्या हो सकता है? ये लॉलेसनेस, ये भेड़ियापन, इसके लिए तो जवाब सबसे पहले अव्वल तो मीरवाइज को ही देना पड़ेगा कि ये हो क्यों रहा है।
His chief Omar Abdullah tweeted saying people who lynched the DSP should burn in hell. Reactions from Delhi also muted. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi tweeted condemnation, but instead blamed the PDP-BJP alliance for the unrest. He had no comments to offer on the separatists who fueled this violence. Congress's ally, the CPM, even called for talks with the separatists.
It seems that in Kashmir, the government is an utter failure. This is the BJP-PDP government in Kashmir. And because of their policies, today this is the situation in Kashmir, that those criminals and those who are targeting Kashmir police have the upper hand.
Subramaniam Swamy, though, minced no words, calling for a dismissal of the Mufti government. His government at the centre was more circumspect.
This government is the most important government, and that it should that Mahbubullah will never take action against any militants with a full gusto.
और रमज़ान के इस पाक महीने में इससे बढ़कर और नापाक हरकत क्या हो सकती है? मुझे लगता है कश्मीर के आम आवाम और विशेषकर युवा अब जागरूक हो गए।
Ayub Pandith was a resident of the locality for years. He was known to people there. His family lived there. But none of it mattered on Thursday when he was mobbed and lynched, with no one stepping in to help.
ये बड़ा स्ट्रेंज है। एक डीएसपी को कम से कम 4 एसएचओस 26 पुलिस वाले साथ होते हैं, जबकि ये खुद डीएसपी है। इसकी 6 होनी चाहिए, 2 गाड़ियां होनी चाहिए थे, 8 पुलिस वाले इसके साथ होने चाहिए थे। ये पुलिस की कमजोरी है जिसने इसको मरने के लिए वहां पर छोड़ दिया।
Pandith's family demands justice. But is justice possible where the administration is even reluctant to name and question his killers? What is stopping them from naming, shaming and calling for action against those who were behind the barbaric lynching of a man who was only doing his duty? It's time they called a spade a spade. With Shujaul Haq in Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Security to the Hurriyat leaders should be reviewed. They don't deserve protection. If they don't care for the likes of Muhammad Ayub, there's no point in protecting them. Joining us for reactions on this big breaking story, we've got Kuldeep Khoda. He's the former Director General of Police of Jammu and Kashmir. With us also Anil Kaul. He's an army veteran. I want to go across to Mr. Khoda first because you've been DGP. You just heard a very, very anguished SP Vaid on India Today saying if this is how Mirwaiz is going to behave, then it's time to review whether they deserve any protection at all. Would you agree, Mr. Khoda?
You know, absolutely what Director General of Police has mentioned is very apt because the situation is on the slide and we need to arrest it. We have to devise ways and means, review our strategy to the entire way of dealing with the situation, and we have to redraw our strategy and SOP also in deployment of the police. Having said that, the point to be understood is that the police has been in the forefront, especially since more than last 2 decades. Whether it's surgical operations, the intelligence mostly comes from the police, or whether going for the assault action, the police has been in forefront along with other security forces. Now the strategy from across is very clear. They want to demoralize the J&K police to take out the main element from the security forces, by which the security forces have been getting great successes in the past. And beyond that, they have been trying to activate the line of control also. You have seen yesterday the action across border in Poonch, in Chakandabag area. And then the parallel strategy has been to radicalize the youth.
Paul, do you agree? Do you agree with what you heard from SP Vaid, the very anguished Director General of Police saying, withdraw their security, they don't deserve to be protected by us?
Yes, absolutely.
Colonel Call.
Point which is very important in this entire thing. That is.
Rahul, first of all, my condolences with the family. Secondly, the most important statement from Mr. Vaid is this, and I think that is the right step immediately. First and foremost, remove all security apparatus from these chaps. Let them fend for themselves. Zakir Musa has threatened them. Let them go and really hang these chaps in Lal Chowk. Let them do it. There is also a requirement of this question of they will face the law. There is nothing to face the law. These chaps are murderers. They should be just brought out and sentenced to death. That's it. I think time has come where we cannot be so largesse and have the luxury of court cases and arguments and etc. like a normal court case. This is war, and in war you do something like this, you get shot, and that's it. Now these are extreme steps. Which do we have the resilience to do it? Right now, from the statements that I could hear from various personages, I don't think we do not have that kind of resolve to sort out matters as they should be, because your question was not answered as to why we are not naming these chaps. Not only naming them, they should be hung by the neck till they are dead.
Mr. Khoda, now tell me, do you believe that charges should be pressed against Mirwaiz Farooq? Do you believe, given the fact that he was there, given the fact that he didn't bother to intervene, carried on with his sermon as if nothing had happened, should charges be pressed against him?
While as this unfortunate incident, but the good thing about it is that the police has already identified 12 of the assailants and 2 have been already captured, and remaining the hunt is on. And all those who are responsible for this act and those
the charges should be pressed against Mirwaiz Farooq.
Oh, absolutely, all those who are involved or all those who are abetted directly or indirectly, they have to be brought to the book. There have to be cases have to be formulated against that. It is not the only persons who are actually
no, absolutely. Colonel Call, can charges be framed against Mirwaiz Farooq? He's carrying on as if nothing had happened. A man has been lynched brutally outside the mosque where he was preaching.
Rahul, I agree. Rahul, I agree with you. This is the height of being insensitive, and I think he needs to be charged with abetment to murder. And that is the least you can do with the kind of guy who is actually the brains behind all the nonsense that is going on in Kashmir. And I think it is high time that he was picked up and sent to some vague place in northeast somewhere where he can sting and die till the last days of his life. I don't think he's fit to remain in society any longer.
Straight words there. You're saying book him for abetment to murder. Colonel Call, for saying it like it is. Thank you very much. Mr. Khoda, thank you very much for joining us. The Director General of Police giving us a big headline saying security to the likes of Mirwaiz Farooq and other Hurriyat leadership should be withdrawn. A big statement of intent coming from the Director General of the Jammu and Kashmir Police. Superstar Rajnikant dropping his most clear hint thus far that he will be joining politics soon, saying that it's under discussion and an announcement is likely soon. Now the big question in everybody's mind in Tamil Nadu and the rest of the country, can superstar Rajnikant be a super neta as well, or will he be a super flop? First the story and then the newsroom showdown.
The Thalaiva finally confirms his political plunge, ending months of speculation about him starring as a neta. The superstar has so far steered clear of any explicit political talk, though some have said he has shown leanings towards the BJP. When the king of Tamil cinema met his fans back in April, he had held his cards close to his chest and had announced that he would join politics if God was willing. India Today has been leading the coverage of Thalaiva's political debut. In April, this is what the superstar told Deputy Editor Priyam Vada.
And you don't want to talk about politics completely, but what are your views, sir? Because all the fans...
no politics. Please don't talk about politics right now.
The first confirmation of the possibility of a BJP Rajani tie-up also came on India Today. RSS ideologue Guru Murthy revealing that the superstar is likely to float his own outfit that would ally with the Saffron Party.
He may not have to think about entering politics. I think he has already thought about it. Entertain what kind of people in politics, how he will conduct his politics.
Rajni, whenever he joins politics, will have no dearth of friends. Former Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam, in an interview to us, claimed he will welcome the Thalaiva with open arms.
And கடந்த சில நாட்கள் வாரங்களாக ரஜினிகாந்த் அரசியலுக்கு வருவார் அப்படினு சொல்றாங்க. நீங்க வரவேற்பீங்களா அவருடைய அரசியலுக்கு வருவதை? உங்க கட்சியில சேர்றதுக்கான அலையன்ஸ் வைக்கிறதுக்கோ இல்ல கூப்பிடுறதுக்கான ஒரு வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்கா?
யார் வேண்டுமானாலும் அரசியலுக்கு வரலாம். எதிர்காலத்தில் கூட்டணி அமைப்பது அந்தந்த தேர்தல் காலத்தில் மக்களுடைய எதிர்பார்ப்பு என்னவாக இருக்கிறதோ அதை நிறைவு செய்கிற கூட்டணி அமைத்தால்தான் ஒரு கூட்டணி ஆட்சியை பிடிக்க முடியும். அது அந்த நேரத்தில் அந்த முடிவை செய்யப்படும் என்பதை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
Given his mass appeal and superstardom, Rajinikanth's political foray could be a game changer in Tamil Nadu's landscape. With Priyam Vada in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining us now live from Ahmedabad is Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. C. Durai Pandan is a member of the legal wing of the AIDMK. Srinivasan is a member of the Rajinikanth fan club. I want to go across first to Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. Dr. Swamy, Rajinikanth has a huge amount of fan appeal. He's now confirmed he's in active discussion. First official confirmation that he's in discussion to join politics says, I will reveal my decision over the next few weeks. Do you believe he can do an MGR? Can he fill the void left by Jayalalitha's untimely demise?
Well, first of all, I don't know about his huge fan following because his last film was a flop. And if it had a huge following, a fan following, they should have made a profit in that film. So these are all what is called as media hypes, and we can't go by that. And I'm also a little surprised that we should be worried about what hints he is dropping. Why can't he say yes or no? Or I haven't made up my mind. I'll tell you when I make up my mind and leave it at that. And when he makes up his mind to speak, every off and on he comes on and says, I'm giving you indications, I'm dropping you a hint. And most of your correspondents then go into raptures. This is not the way politics is to be done. We must be direct and open and clear.
You are saying this is media hype, but Tamil Nadu has a history of people like Jayalalitha, MGR coming in, sweeping the state, having the whole state in a sway. It's happened also with the N.T. Ramarao in Andhra Pradesh. So there is a history there. It's not just media hype. For somebody with the kind of cult popularity that Rajinikanth has, they have enjoyed huge, immediate, instant success in the past. Can Rajinikanth do an encore?
Well, as far as Ramarao is concerned, he came into the picture only when he had the courage to take on Rajiv Gandhi's insult of the Telugus, or what he imagined was Rajiv Gandhi's insult. And it was Telugu pride that he propagated, and once he came to power, that was the end. After that, he disappeared. And in fact, his own son-in-law put him to pasture. As far as MGR is concerned, he was part of a social movement. That social movement is now a spent force. Jayalalitha inherited the organization, but she was a highly educated woman. Rajinikanth, I don't think, has read a book in his life. So I think these comparisons are odious. After all, Amitabh Bachchan, for all his glamour, couldn't make it in politics. So there is a phase in which the cinema people came because the media, print media was not available to the lower caste. So they used the cinema to propagate, and they made an issue. And then once they became part of the establishment, they've been declining. And
And I think the term of the DMK, the ADMK and all is not
Swami,
not
if I
much,
could
maybe a
present the
more.
other side of the picture,
Now,
Rajnikant
there's
is
a
one
new
star
generation of
who has
educated
fan
Indians.
clubs in virtually every town, every small village of Tamil Nadu. There is a clear leadership vacuum. An EPS, an OPS.
I told you, how do you measure that?
No, an EPS, an
How do you measure
OPS,
that?
Sasikala, TTV, Dinakaran, they're not the kinds who can fill that leadership vacuum. Also, as we've seen, Rajnikant's popularity cuts across different communities, not just the rich, the poor, middle class. He has different kinds of fans. Why are you so confident that he'll be a flop neta, not a superstar neta?
These are because you don't know the ground situation, because you can't say these things, there's no way to measure it. As I told you that if he had a huge fan following, the cinema would not have flopped. And I think it's probably the fact that two flops have come in a row that he's thinking of coming into something else.
Party seems to be very keen, Dr. Swami, on welcoming him.
These are all,
everyone we've spoken to in the BJP, we heard from Gurumurthy, for example. I asked the BJP President Amit Shah this. He said Rajnikant would be welcome in politics. Your own party seems to be quite keen on welcoming him, in fact.
I'm sorry, you're misquoting Amit Shah, as usual. Amit Shah said, first he said, I never said that he's welcome in BJP. That matter has not even been considered. He said if he wants to come to politics, he's welcome. That's all he said. That from there you interpolate. As far as Gurumurthy is concerned, he's an independent intellectual. He's not a member of the BJP. So how can he speak on behalf of the BJP? So therefore, the party has never considered it, discussed it. Individuals can have opinions, like I have an opinion that he's unfit for any political work at all.
Okay.
And if he comes, there will be many things that will tumble out which will be harmful to him. I would advise him not to come.
You're saying you've got something in your armory lined up which you will unleash if Rajnikant were to join politics, Dr. Swami? Are you holding out a threat?
Yes, something. No, I'm not holding out a threat. He's not in public life, so I'm not going to use it. I know so many things about Priyanka, but I don't come out with it because she's not in public life. The only way when they come into political office or seek political office that I would come out with what I have.
One second, Dr. Swami, before you go. I know I promised to leave you after 4 questions. One second. You're saying you've got some kind of financial misappropriation or some other kind of fraud or offense committed by Rajnikant, which you will unleash if Rajnikant announces he'll join politics?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
How do we know you have this evidence? How do I know this is not just a sensational Swami headline and that what you're saying is absolutely correct?
Let him come to. You must know my track record. For you to say this shows you are ignorant.
No, I'm not ignorant at all. I actually say publicly that you have a very, very prolific track record. You've been able to bring down more high and mighty people than anybody else. That's a fact. Everybody in India knows this track record, which is why I'm very curious. What is it, financial that you're talking about? The offense that you're talking about? Is it some other kind of offense? What is it?
I told you that it is financial irregularities.
And you believe that this is so compelling that he'll have to leave politics if he were to join? That's how compelling.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It'll become very hard for him to continue.
You are sure of that?
His image will collapse, whatever has been media hyped.
Dr. Swami, are you sure of the fact that the financial fraud that you're talking about is so compelling that Rajnikant will have to give up politics once you put it out?
How many times do you want me to say that? You please tell me, then I'll say it. Rajnikant's famous dialogue is, if I say it once, it is equivalent to saying 1,000 times.
So that's Swami's dialogue also?
Nurvati Madri, he says, that is 100 times.
You seem to be a Rajni fan yourself, Dr. Swami. You seem to be a bit of a Rajni fan yourself.
Rajnikant to impress you. Well, I am personally known to him. I have had personal contact with him. But I'll tell you, he should not come to politics.
And if he comes to politics, Dr. Subramaniam Swami, live on India Today, has just held out a very potent threat, which given his track record cannot be dismissed. He says he's got evidence of financial fraud, which he will unleash if Rajnikant were to join politics. That could KO a lot of the plans that BJP leaders have as well. Dr. Swami says the BJP is not interested. That's not a fact. I can tell you on good authority the BJP is very interested in bringing him, not necessarily into the BJP, but maybe
you can
into
say
the
that.
NDA fold.
You misquoted Mr. Amit Shah.
I didn't misquote him. Amit Shah told me that he'd be very happy if good people like Rajnikant. He said if good people like Rajnikant join politics, he'd be very happy. I was there. I interviewed Amit Shah.
I'm going a little further and saying he shouldn't join politics. But as far as joining BJP, he never said a word about that.
That's correct. That is correct. He didn't say that he's joining the BJP. He said it will be very good if all good people join politics, and Rajnikant also is amongst them. He did not say anything about joining the BJP specifically, but we know that the BJP is working behind the scenes to try and get the Rajnikant to set up his own party and support the NDA. No, we know that for a fact. Dr. Swami, you don't like the story, so you're saying it's not necessarily true, but you also know that that is true. Guru Murthy said so as well in the interview.
You like the story, so you're propagating it. You like the story, so you. I know what he
I don't have stakes in any politics in any state. I'm stating a fact. Guru Murthy in the interview told us this. Okay, I'm going to leave it there.
I know you don't, but you got. Dr. Swami, ignorant. That's all I can say.
Yes, Dr. Swami, in front of you, everyone is ignorant, but you realize you've dropped a bombshell. You realize the interview you've just given will set off massive frenzy across Tamil Nadu politics. This is the biggest story in Tamil Nadu right now, and now you're threatening to knock him out even before he gets started. This is like lights are being switched off. You know, you're fusing his political light even before it turns on.
Yeah, you can prove me wrong by making him come and find that there's nothing.
No, I will only know when Rajnikant joins and whether you're able to prove it. You're able to prove it. See, you were able to go after Jayalalitha. So therefore, no one in Tamil Nadu or elsewhere can dispute or doubt your track record.
Your sister channel, the NDTV, is also learning the hard way.
No, that's a different matter. We will leave that. That's a whole separate debate. But Subramaniam Swami for joining us tonight. Thank you very much.
The same thing.
Thank you very much. You've just set off a big political frenzy. I've got C. Durai Pandyan, he's a member of the legal wing of the AIDMK. Srinivasan is a member of the Rajnikant fan club. I was to go to them, but this interview went on for much longer, as you just saw, than I'd originally anticipated. And the Rajni works, saying he will reveal details of financial misappropriation if the superstar announces he's joining politics. Joining me for quick reactions, C. Durai Pandyan of the AIDMK, Srinivasan of the Rajnikant fan club. Mr. Durai Pandyan, to you first. You just heard Subramaniam Swami drop a big bomb in Tamil Nadu politics. What are you making of it?
Can be. No, there are every chances, because you know it's not. I mean, not only that. If you see into Rajnikant's early life and till day, you know, like. There are certain things, there are so many things which cannot be revealed on a camera, and you know, there is nothing wrong in listening to Mr. Swami's words, because there are chances. Now everybody who enters, who comes to movie, they want to become chief minister, you know, like Purachi Thalaivar MGR. You know, there are so many failures, including Amitabh Bachchan and Vijayakant. And you know, in Andhra also there, and Karnataka, Rajkumar, everyone. You know, it is not a cakewalk for everyone to go simply like that. And Purachi Thalaivar MGR was acting as, you know, like a...
One second. Let's get straight. There's a big political atom bomb of sorts that Swami has just dropped. Do you believe that there may be merit to what he is saying, that he could have evidence of financial fraud, which he says will force Rajnikant to reconsider his decision? Mr. Durai Pandyan.
No, I will not accept, because yes, Rahul, I will not accept, because the charges which he has laid, you know, like in all several cases, more than 50% of the cases are gone. So we simply can't believe Mr.
Jayalalitha case ended up.
As to what he says.
There was a conviction there. Okay, Mr.
And
Srinivasan, your thoughts quickly.
Yes.
Do you believe this could deter Rajnikant from joining politics?
With one case, you cannot come to a main.
Mr. Subramanian Swamy should do his homework first. First of all, he doesn't know what's the basic of movie Kabali. Kabali is a blockbuster. It did more than 650 crores. It's as good as an equivalent of a GDP of a Bhutan. That's a success of Kabali. And second thing, he says, Swamy says like Rajni has done kind of financial fraud. Is absolutely wrong. Mr. Rajnikant is a Bhatma Vibhushan. He's one of the clean individuals in India who pays the taxes on time. Basically, BJP needs some kind of an attention in Chennai and Tamil Nadu. That's the reason one part of the BJP says, Rajnikant, please come politics. Mr. Swamy says, don't come into politics. BJP
saying this is down to an internal fight in the BJP. That's an important thread to build on.
Yes.
Stay with me. We were wrapping up our broadcast at 11, but because of this big story that Dr. Swamy has just let loose right here, live on India Today, I will come back to Mr. Durai Pandyan. I'll go across to Srinivasan. We'll get more reactions. This is the one story that's engaged the politics of Tamil Nadu. Can Rajnikant fill the vacuum? Now Dr. Swamy is saying he's got evidence of serious financial fraud. I'll get a